Australia has the world's largest known uranium reserves. India has one of the world's fastest growing energy demands. For years, the two countries wanted to do business, but one major hurdle stood in the way. Now, during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Australia, that hurdle has finally been removed. Australia has agreed to begin commercial uranium exports to India, marking one of the biggest energy deals between the two countries in over a decade. But why is this deal so important? India today is the world's fastest growing major economy. But with rapid industrialization, AI data centers, electric vehicles, and manufacturing expanding, the country's electricity demand is rising faster than ever. The problem is that India still relies heavily on coal, which accounts for majority of its electricity generation. At the same time, India has committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2070 and wants much cleaner resources for energy. Now that's where nuclear power comes in. Unlike solar and wind, nuclear power generates electricity 24 hours a day without producing carbon emissions during operation. And India's ambitions are huge. The government wants to increase its nuclear power capacity to 100 gigawatts by 2047 compared to less than 10 gigawatts today. Achieving that target will require a massive and reliable supply of uranium fuel. And that's where Australia comes in. Australia possesses nearly one-third of the world's known uranium reserves, making it one of the world's biggest potential suppliers. While India has some domestic uranium, it is not enough to support the country's ambitious expansion plans. Interestingly, India and Australia actually signed a civil nuclear agreement way back in 2014. But commercial uranium exports never really took off because several administrative and regulatory issues remained unresolved. But during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Melbourne this week, both countries signed the final administrative agreement that officially allows Australian uranium exports to India for peaceful civilian nuclear use. The agreement comes with strict safeguards. Although India is not a signatory of Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, it also has special agreement under International Atomic Energy Agency safeguards. The uranium supplied by Australia can only be used in India's civilian nuclear reactors and remains under international monitoring. But this deal is much more about the fuel. It reflects how India and Australia are becoming increasingly important strategic partners in the Indo-Pacific as well. Alongside the uranium agreement, the countries also announced deeper cooperation in defense, maritime security, critical minerals, advanced technologies, and resilient supply chains. With growing concerns over China's influence in Indo-Pacific, both New Delhi and Australia are working more closely through platforms like the Quad while strengthening bilateral ties. Now, there are also economic benefits. Australia gains access to one of the world's fastest growing energy markets, while India diversifies its uranium imports instead of depending on just only handful of supplier countries. That improves India's long-term energy security too. So the uranium deal isn't just another trade agreement. It's a strategic partnership that strengthens India's clean energy transition, supports its ambitious nuclear expansion, deepens ties with Australia, and adds another important pillar to India's long-term energy security.